Hello, everyone. I'm Santa Bob McMasters, and welcome to the Tuesday Night Live show for August 16th, 2022. Please stay with us. We have a lot more coming your way with our special guest tonight, Santa Chuck Ellis. This is Tuesday Night Live. Thank you to everyone either watching us live or via a replay. Let's bring out our co-host, and with us at this time, please say hello to Mr. Spangle.
Hello, everybody.
For a minute, I thought you was muted. I didn't hear nothing, and I know you always like to come in strong. So if you may, drop a hidey ho in the comments to our producer, Angela Mack. Make her feel like she's welcome. This has been a sad but joyous week in our community. If you have not read or heard yet, our dear friend and mentor, Santa Tom Carmody, went to be with our Lord Saturday morning around 6:30 a.m. Tom has a lasting legacy of service to his Christian faith and dedication to our industry, including IBRBS. More about Tom later on. We'll have a little bit of a tribute towards the end of the show. This week of the Tuesday Night Live show is our week 33 of this season 2, and we have another great special guest waiting in the green room for tonight's show. But first, just a reminder, all of our live shows are recorded for your convenience and can be seen on YouTube at the Tuesday Night Live show. If you visit, drop us a comment. Don't forget to give us a like, share, and give us a subscribe if you can. The first half of Tuesday Night Live show trivia is brought to you by Derek Dugan, Slay Driver Apparel Company. We want to say special thanks to Derek for that. He has been a little bit behind because of his travels. He shipped everything out in a mass shipper this week. So if you have not received your trivia prize, it's on its way. We made sure we got it caught up. All right. Okay, guys, this is the first for the Tuesday Night Live show. Tonight's trivia will be Hallmark Channel movies. We've never done the Hallmark movies before, so this is a new category. Name the Hallmark movie which tells the story of a young boy helping Santa in his busiest month of the year. Name the Hallmark movie which tells the story of a young boy helping Santa in his busiest month of the year. Also, remember the Scott Parker rule. If you've won in the last 30 days, you are in timeout. Go stand in the corner and behave yourself.
Come on, keyboard warriors.
I was waiting for that. I thought that was coming. I knew it was. All right, fantastic. Name the Hallmark movie which tells the story of a young boy helping Santa in his busiest month of the year. We will reveal that and the answer to the other trivia question at the end of the show tonight. Good luck, and hope everybody is doing well tonight. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and jump to the next thing.
The first half of tonight's Tuesday Night Live show is brought to you by Derek Dugan's Slay Driver Apparel Company. You can find Derek's store on etsy.com/shop/slaydriverapparel or contact Derek Dugan for all your custom apparel needs. Now back to our show with Bob Spangle and Angela. This is Tuesday Night Live.
All right. Now, with many of our guests, and Chuck Ellis too, Chuck Ellis, I can say, is a really good friend of mine. Now, I don't know if he'll say that I'm a really good friend of his, but I do consider Chuck a really good friend. Anyways, our special guest tonight was born September 18th, 1850. Yeah, he's that old, 1850. All right, maybe 1950, but you'll think he's a lot older than that, which makes him a very young, was it 171 years? No, 71 years. And will be celebrating his big day next month. He currently lives in Fairhope, Alabama, with his wife of 7 years, Diane. I know her, and I don't know how she does with him. Anyway, his story starts out interesting enough. Back in 1969, at the age of 19, when he joined and sung with B.J. Thomas, we remember that, up until 1972, when he received Jesus as his Lord and Savior. Please put your hands together and let's welcome tonight's special guest, Santa Chuck Ellis. Welcome, Chuck.
Hi, Chuck. How are you tonight, man? You doing good?
I'm doing great, man. It's hot down here in South Alabama.
Hey, that's something that we've all kind of had a good taste of, even up into the Canadian provinces this year. It's been warm, a hot summer. I'm looking forward to those cool fronts that are starting to sweep down from up in Spangles way. He said it was 107 there today. I don't know if he was telling me a fib or not, but
no, not 107 here today. It rained here today.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was Scott that had mentioned that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Continuing
Chuck,
on with
your mic's not coming through very strong.
Whose mic?
Yours.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit.
It's wide open.
Yeah.
All right.
I hear him fine.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, continuing on with your journey, Chuck, you said after receiving Christ, you changed careers and went into ministry for a few years, singing and doing Bible dramas.
That's true enough.
For those who do not know, explain what Bible dramas are and share your story in the ministry for us, please.
Well, there's skits. I don't do skits. I do Bible drama. It's a theatrical presentation of an entire book of the Bible. I do several books of the Bible from memory, and I do them in character, like Paul, an apostle of Jesus Christ, by the will of God, according to the promise of life that is in Christ Jesus, to Timothy. Write this down, my dearly beloved son. Anyway, do a whole book like that, and that's Bible drama. It says the Word made alive through drama. I have a 30-foot long prison backdrop, 10 feet tall, and I wear period clothes and stuff like that. I used to white out on my beard and stuff when I had black hair, but anyway, I don't have to do that anymore. But anyway, I did that, and I bloomed where I'm planted. I was a singer for most of my life during school and right out of high school. So I sang gospel music in churches as well. I traveled around for years doing that. Sure did. Then I got off the road and started painting houses. For God knows why I started doing that, but I did. And I did that up till just not too long ago. But I started doing Santa Claus. Can I get that far ahead?
I think that's further down into the script.
Okay. I'll hold up then.
Maybe it is, maybe that. I don't remember to be exact. But, speaking of Bible dramas, I actually Googled that because I wasn't real sure either what term you were speaking of. And it actually explains it really well and gives you some examples. Even has some Bible drama videos that you can watch, which illustrates exactly what you were speaking of.
Yeah.
Well, Chuck, maybe you need to be doing a solo performance at the Sight and Sound Theaters.
At the where?
Sight and Sound Theaters.
I don't know where they are, but I'd be glad to go do one or two.
You need to come visit one in Branson.
All right, I'll do it. I'll go when you're going to be up there. I'll come up.
All right. Well, Chuck, sometimes this time you married and started a family. We know you are very proud of your daughters and your granddaughter from that marriage, as well as your 5 grandchildren as a result of the marriage to Diane.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about them all, and as a proud grandpa, what you think of being Santa Claus.
Well, the 5 I inherited with Diane are pretty much grown up, and it was fun the first 7 years because 2 of them were like, they're 16 and 13 now, something like that. But so 7 years ago, they were kids, and they enjoyed it. And we've got a little 2-year-old. His name is Noah, and he is a riot. He stays with us a couple of days a week, so he's a lot of fun. And he's just now being potty trained. He's a mess, though. And then I have one of my daughters, Brittany, my oldest. she has a 6-year-old. She'll be 6 on August the 29th. And she just, my heart, she's just a beautiful little girl. And I love her so much. And she take after her mama. And both of my girls, Morgan and Brittany, they're both just wonderful women. They've grown up to be special, and they married special guys, which is really great. These look like these people are going to stay married forever, which I hope they do. And that's about that. And I get to see them as much as I can. I see Noah more than anybody because he lives here. And then Diane's kids, they live here, so I get to see one of them anyway, a lot. So they're great people.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think God put grandchildren in our heart to give us a bigger heart, a softer heart.
You got to have a big pocketbook to hang out with some of them. Noah's only 2, and he's got more stuff than I got.
I think we've all experienced that.
Yeah, he's got more stuff over here than he's got over at his house, and I wish he'd take it with him.
Okay. Well, later in your life, you started painting as a profession.
Yeah.
We have got to hear more about this part of your life.
Well, I started painting houses. I paint my own house, and I just decided a friend of mine asked me to paint a house with him, and he said he'd pay me $10 an hour. And back in those days, I'm talking about, that was a long time ago. I said $10 an hour, pretty good. So he paid me $10 an hour, and I learned how to paint. He was a professional. He was an older man. He's like as old as I am now, 40 years ago. And so I painted for years and years and years, and I got to where I just can't climb up down ladders anymore. I fell one time. I was standing on the ground, and I stepped on a roll of Tyvek, if y'all know what that is, and it just rolled right out from under me, and I landed on my right shoulder on a 2x12 right on the corner, and just messed my shoulder up a few years ago, and it's been bad ever since. So I kind of gave that up. I gave up painting, but it was okay. Everybody be someplace.
Kind of tough painting houses. I tell you, I dread every time I have to do mine.
Yeah.
All right, so you said that actually I have said this very same thing time and time again, and heard many other Santas with the same message. But you said the most rewarding experience that you had ever had and deepest regret is that you did not start sooner. Speaking about becoming a professional Santa. Now 11 years as a professional Santa, you started off small by working 3 years with an RV resort, which had a train ride going into Santa's workshop. Give us some stories from that and what you most enjoyed about this. This got to be a hoot here.
Well, but I did 1 year before that at a flea market, so that's year 1. And then I spent 3 years. It's called Wales West Light Railway, and it's a 1 mile long railroad track, and it's an RV resort. They bring their travel trailers in there and stuff, and to help defer some of their expense staying in this RV resort, they can come down and work at the Santa's workshop. And they had 2 trains, and they ran. Drop off 70 kids, drop off 70 kids, drop off 70. And I was seeing literally 1,000 children a day. They'd come in the room at about 20, 25 at a time, and then run up, take a picture, run up, and then I had to go send them. They'd all take pictures, and I got sick every year. I mean, I'm around so many kids in a little small, about a 12 by 12 room. It was really small. And I got sick every year, and I learned that I didn't want to do Santa Claus that much. Not in that kind of a setting, but I did it for 3 years, and they paid me $12 an hour my first 2 years, and they paid me $12.50 my 3rd year. And I thought, well, it ain't working out real good for me because I'm an older guy now. I'm in my 60s, 62, 3, and 4, and I said this just ain't working out good for me. Well, a Santa Claus friend of mine put my picture, sent it to Cherry Hill program, and I got a call from them. And they said, do you want to be a Santa Claus with us? The guy sent your picture. And Santa Chuck Bridwell, he passed away, God bless him. And so they flew me to New Jersey, and they hired me on the spot. And they paid me to come to a little mall down here in Spanish Fort, Alabama, which is about 20 miles from here. And they paid me $6,800. And I thought, wow, that's better than $12 an hour. I can tell you that. I started seeing, hey, there's some money in this. I love doing the children, but there's something about getting paid for it too. So I did that down there, and it was an outdoor scene. I want you to know that South Alabama in November, December, it's still 80, 85 degrees. And we were outdoors, and I'm in a full dress, and I'm just like, every day was like, I can't stand this anymore. So the next year, they wanted me to do it again. I said, I don't think so. I appreciate you, but no. And so they said, well, we'll send you to Nashville, Tennessee. And I thought, Nashville? I live there. I can deal with Nashville. So they sent me to Franklin, which is right outside of Nashville. And I did that gig, and am I too far ahead of myself already? So I did Franklin for 2 years, and you're talking about busy. This is a mall where you see a lot of children. It's, I mean, almost $200,000 a year in 6 weeks. That's a lot of work. I stayed there for 2 years with Cherry Hill, and then I moved on. And they didn't want to pay me any more money because I was thinking, $12,500 sounds like a lot of money, but that's a lot of work for old man. So they said, well, we got another mall that'll give you a raise. See, I didn't know that Cherry Hill paid me. They kept telling me the mall paid me, which is a bona fide fib. It's a story. And so they just didn't want to pay me out of that almost $200,000 they were making. I asked for a $2,000 raise. Should ask for 20. But anyway, they sent me to Stamford, Connecticut for $2,000 more. I asked for $14,500, and they paid me that, and $1,500 travel. But I drove 1,300 miles one way to Stamford, Connecticut. And I loved the mall. That mall loved me, and I loved them. But they had a crazy staff and a crazy district manager. And Cherry Hill's not real good on staffing. They're just not. So we had some conflicts of interest, and I knew they were stealing from Cherry Hill and stuff like that. And so I made some comments that were stealing from the mall. So they got mad at me, and so they told Cherry Hill the mall didn't want me anymore. So Cherry Hill just assumed that was the truth because they told me, we love you, man. You're the best Santa Claus we've ever had. And we fired the Santa and Mrs. Claus last year, and the Santa Claus the year before that. And we want you back anytime you want to come back. So I said, okay, I'll be glad to, pal. Cherry Hill said, well, they don't want you. I said, well, then they lied to me because they told me they loved me and wanted me back all the time. And, well, I'll put you somewhere else. I said, forget it. I quit. I'm not coming back anywhere. I'm over all this stuff. It was a lot of strain working for a company that absolutely didn't care for you. I'm not trying to slam them out in public, but they don't care about you. They do not. So they called me back about 2 weeks later and said, hey, they changed their mind. Really? And I got you a raise. Really? So I go back up there and I talked to the mall manager and said, what happened to that? He said, well, they started sending us pictures of other Santa Clauses wanting to replace you because they thought we didn't want you back. And we said, why can't we just get Santa Chuck back? And they said, you want him back? And they said, yes. So they got me back that year. And he asked me, he says, can you do this stuff here? Can you do this whole setup stuff? I said, I don't have a camera, but I'll tell you what I can do. Give credit. I'll go buy all this stuff. I know how to run all this stuff. I've been sitting with them for 5 years. I can deal with it. And he said, well, we got to sell this mall because the people that own the mall wanted to stay in the rut they were in with them. So turns out the next season they called me up. COVID's here. We can't get you back up here, but do you want a live stream? Well, I made more live streaming sat here right here at this desk. And I had my backdrop behind me right here, and I had my own set up here like this, except a little more lights and stuff. And I did my whole season from right here, and that was fun. I'll tell you, people think it's hard to do live streaming, but if you can talk a lot like I can, and most Santa Clauses can, I know Fangle can, just get on there and talk a blue streak. It's fun. You're sitting here. The good part about this is they had a little spiel that say, hello, children. Did y'all come to see Santa? And about that time, I had 1 minute flat before I had to be in this chair right here. And I was wearing my sleeping shorts and a T-shirt. And all I had to do was throw on my coat. Didn't even have to zip it up, button it up. I just folded close together like that, put my hat, gloves, and glasses on, and sit like this. Go, hello, children. And I had a whole minute to do it. So I could be in the kitchen. The refrigerator's right over there, about 20 feet. I can go over there and fix me a glass of tea, or get a Coke, a bottle of water, something like that. I can run down the hall to the bathroom real quick and come right back. And all I got to do is put those 4 things on, and it was so fast and so pure and so wonderful. So Dan calls me up, that's the manager of the mall, after that was over with, and said, we're going to open up next year, which was last year. Can you do it? And I said, I'll do it. Send me a contract. He said, well, just tell us what you want. We'll tell you what we expect. And it matched up. So they sent me a contract, I signed it, and then I went out and spent $35,000. It sounds like a lot, but if you're going to go big or go home. Go first class. Don't get junk material. You can't run $1 million business on a $15 Kodak. But anyway, I got all set up to do it. And I drove my little van. I've been up to Spangle's house in my little red van. It toted everything, but not very well. It was loaded to the max. So I said, I have to have a trailer. And that led to I have to have a bigger truck. So that $40,000 turned into another $40,000, 35,000. I bought a $6,000 trailer, and I bought a $40,000 truck. So now I've got $80,000 rolling down the road. And last year was my first year, and it wasn't as good as Cherry Hill used to do. It was like $85,000 mall. I like talking about the money at the mall because there's good money in the mall. And any Santa that's in a mall ought to consider getting his own mall. I'm not kidding you. It ain't that hard to do. There's lots of them out there that aren't cheap, or that would take a shot at you. And so I got all set up and got the stuff and went up there and did it. And we did about half of that. We did $45,000, and I made $3,000 in tips. I can tell you how to do that too. It's really easy. I didn't ask for it, didn't say nothing, don't even have a tip jar. But there's a way to get tips. It's so wonderful. It's their idea. So anyway, we left, and the only reason we only did half that, there was another guy 2 blocks down the street, 2 blocks from the mall, that had a big outdoor light show and all that stuff, Christmas extravaganza with pictures of Santa and Mrs. Claus, all for a package price. Well, half my business was over there and not over here. So I told them all that just ain't good. You know, I can't come up here too many times for that because that about paid for my set, my stuff. And so they hired him this year to come to the mall and bring in those 20,000 people he said he got, but he can't take pictures. But he can sell access to his deal. And anyway, I've been talking to some other malls now, and I'm going to branch out and do it all over again and buy all this stuff one more time. And I may have to end up with a trailer big as Spangle so I can stop off at 5 malls on the way to the one I'm going to. But anyway, it's fun. One of my best experiences was in Franklin, Tennessee. There's a little boy came up. I had like a corral where it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I had about 45 kids in the corral and 100 crew over there. And this mother came up with her little boy and said, I want you to see Santa Claus because this is the last chance he's going to have to see Santa because he's got a degenerative bone problem. And they say he's not going to live very long. And I said, oh, that's horrible. I said, come sit with Santa. I set him up on my knee. And I asked his mother, I said, do you mind if I pray for him? And I'm not supposed to pray for anybody at the mall, you know. So I turned over to the little children. I said, do y'all mind if we stop for just a minute? This little boy's sick and Santa wants to pray for him. Is that okay? And they all went, yeah. I said, raise your hands. Now raise your hands over here towards this little boy. And they all raised your hands, pointing the right hand to my cap. And I prayed that Jesus would heal him. And they left. And that was one of my highlights of being in Tennessee. It was my greatest experience up there.
Well, I think we just finished the script.
Oh, it's good. I can still do it.
Here, let's pick it up right here. Chuck, I too, being a Cherry Hill program mall Santa, my question to you would be, could you tell the new guys that are thinking about becoming a mall Santa for the first time 2 of the most important lessons you learned in your 5 years with Cherry Hill?
First off, run the set yourself because they got people that have the district managers have never been Santa Claus, never, and they don't know nothing about it. They don't know much about the business. They would come in maybe once during the season, maybe not at all. And Santa Claus has got to have some control. Cherry Hill told me, I want my Santas clean. I don't want them getting into business or nothing like that. I guess so. You don't want us to know what. Anyway, but I'm sitting here in this chair. Santa Claus has got a front row center. I'm at the Christmas tree at the race. I can see it all. And you see what's going on. I see the waste of money, the waste of time, the people that aren't paying attention, people that are slowing the thing down. And it's a total train wreck. They get nobody that knows anything and don't care. It's just you got to have people that care, and that's what we look for is young people. We pay them better than anybody else out there pays them. And I like paying them because they do a good job. And I would think that if you're going to be in a mall and work for another company, give it your best shot, but study what's going on around you. And you can see that you can do this. I can tell you can get in cheaper than I did. I just don't do nothing. Everything I buy is first class. That's why I buy my suits from things.
Yeah.
Buy the best you can buy. Always pay it back. Borrow all you can borrow and pay it back on time. And so you can do it again. That's what I would say. it's easy. Go to the mall, talk to the entertainment director or whatever they call them, and just say, "Listen, are y'all open to another Santa Claus coming into your mall, another photographic company?" And up in Tennessee, I approached them first. The first year I was there, because they didn't like the Cherry Hill either, and they had fired, like I said, they fired the first Santa and Mrs. Claus the year before, and they fired the Santa Claus the year before that, and they didn't like anybody on that set. So they're out there looking. This person's sending me a half a dozen referrals right now to malls that are looking, and if I can help anybody anyway, walk them through the door of something like that, it's easy to do. Just all they can say is no, and they might say yes. If they do, it could change your life.
Well, yeah, it's a 50-50 proposition. You can say yes or they can say no. You know, the thing about Cherry Hill is they're trying to do it and make the most money they can. They're a corporation. They're in it for the money. And the folks that they hire are seasonal folks. Most people are between jobs, and they just take that job for the 6.5, 7 weeks, whatever it is. And most of them don't have any photo experience. They come in, they don't train them, have much training for them, and they don't pay them very much. So in your case, excuse me, you're paying them, a better wage, and you get more quality people. And with all that said, I've had some good people in my 9 years at my mall, but they're few and far between. But when you do have someone that is really good, and I had a little girl that worked with me one year that had been at Macy's as one of their elves for a number of years. And oh my gosh, she's one of the best I've ever worked with. She came in and she could have been running the set. She knew a whole lot more than the set manager that year, but she didn't want to because she had applied for other jobs and was looking to just do it one season and get out. So long story short, she didn't want to be a manager at that point, but she was really good. But, you can find a few quality people out there that do the job right and have the training, but like I said, they're few and far between.
Yeah, you need somebody, but you don't need anybody.
Yeah.
And you got to be really glean through them and pick the one that's right, because a lot of them, they can't walk and chew gum. Some of them, we had this one girl in Tennessee. Now that set manager was a big mall. We did about $200,000, and she could run it. She knew how to do it and had good. And there was two girls there and one boy that were absolutely, I'd hire them any day of the week. They were fabulous. One and done. They were flawless in what they did. And but they had this one girl up there, and they had her on the camera. And she said, "Okay, now take the picture. Take the picture. Take the picture." And she's, "Look, I'm a photographer. I'm sitting at the camera. Take the picture." Anyway, I had to put up with stuff like that and want to take. That's my biggest gripe about any of them. First thing I tell a new photographer that comes up, I try to get my wife to do all the pictures. Take the picture. It costs nothing to take a picture. And that may be the only one you get, especially with a little child that's antsy and squirmy.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, so brother, right here, let's take a short breather, give you a chance to collect your thoughts and rest for just a second, because at this time, it's time for the Tuesday Night Live show to take a break for a special product announcement. So stay with us, and we'll see you on the other side right here.
Get talking, because
That's right. Stop the show. It's time for the Tuesday Night Live Showstopper Special for this week's StuffForSanta.com Showstopper Special. Let's go over to Spangle real quick.
Hey guys, how are we doing? This week's Showstopper Special. Visit our website, StuffForSanta.com, and look at this, 15% off. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh! Stop the madness. 15% off. I mean, all right, guys, no, that's not 30% off. That's 15, okay? Hey, but go to StuffForSanta.com, coupon code Santa Bob, capital SANTA, capital BOB. Santa Bob, 15% off, StuffForSanta.com. Get all your bling, get all your stuff built up for this year's. Chuck's over there writing it down. Let me write that website down. 15% off.
Now, I know everyone saw the new coins that Spangle debuted yesterday, and did you debut the others today?
I did.
Okay, and then you've
They're
also
not on the website. They're not on the website yet.
okay, but I'm just
But
saying.
you're getting more than 15% off if you contact me about those.
And also new socks that he's got that debut.
These aren't on the website yet, but my gosh, look at these things. Come on, guys. You want these for your girls. And I put my big old foot in these things. This might be the pair I won't put them in. They might have to sell for extra money. Look how thick these things are. Yeah, we got a lot of new products in the works right now, guys, and we're doing it for you. So, let's make things happen. 15% off on the website.
On the website, that's the items that are on the website. Go over there and pick out some stuff and take advantage of that 15%. Spangle must have a fever. All right, let's do the commercial. We'll be right back.
All right.
You are watching Tuesday Night Live with Bob Spangle and Angela. The second half of tonight's show is brought to you by StuffForSanta.com and SchoolOfSantas.com, where you can find everything you need for your Santa and Mrs. Claus professional business. Remember, if Spangle ain't got it, you just don't need it because it must not exist. So contact Spangle today for all your red suit accessories and more. And be sure and tell everyone where you got all that really cool stuff. Now back to our show with Bob, Angela, and, of course, more Spangle with trivia fun.
All right, Spangle. Before you go with
trivia question, we're going to give away 2 prizes. We're going to give away this multi-purpose style Swiss Army knife style knife. Got a knife blade, can opener, bottle opener, screwdriver. Don't forget your corkscrew. Got all that. We're giving away that. It says Santa. And we're giving away this high-powered LED flashlight. Super bright. Whoa, look at that. Too bright. But anyways, you're going to get both of those. And the trivia question is, which Christmas movie portrays the story of an army sergeant serving in Afghanistan getting an unexpected gift? Which Christmas movie portrays the story of an army sergeant serving in Afghanistan getting an unexpected gift? Now, Bob did say that these were going to be Hallmark movies.
That's correct, Hallmark. That is correct. All right, so while you guys work on that and put your answer into the comments, we'll give you the answer to that and the other trivia question here in just a bit. All right, so Chuck, we kind of touched on this earlier. If we dive back into the beginning of the pandemic where you was working for Stanford Town Center, doing Santa virtual visits, did you find it harder than an in-person to keep the children engaged in conversation? I know the ones that I've done, especially when I first started doing them, I caught myself, with the children just staring into the camera, into the screen, and I was doing all the talking, which is okay. But, at least when you're doing in-person, the children seem to engage with you more. Did you find that to be true?
Well, they were sitting in, they had a 65-inch screen just sitting right there in front of them. They were sitting there looking at me, and the camera that was shooting them was right at the bottom of the screen, like right there. Where's it at? Right there. And so I was looking right at them, and they were looking right at me. and they were sitting on little stumps. And I didn't see it was a problem. The only thing that wasn't good about it is you can't touch them. I like touching a child. It's a whole nother experience because you can look right at them and whisper and stuff, and they like that.
Right.
That was the only difference is you can't touch them. But it goes pretty smooth. It went real smooth, as a matter of fact. I enjoyed it. I'd rather be in person.
I enjoy doing virtual. Like I said, I just found it a little hard sometimes to get them to engage in conversation. You'd have to kind of prod at them and ask them, several different types of questions to finally get them to stop staring into the screen and interact with you.
Yeah.
So did you learn anything new by doing virtual or change anything you had done in the past seasons as an in-person Mall Santa, or did you find it to be an easy transition?
It was an easy transition for me. You already know I talk a lot, and it's easy for me to just chat with them. And another thing I don't like about it, you can't get personal with them. You just can't.
Yeah.
TV talking to a TV is like talking on the phone and talking to somebody in person. It's just not the same.
That's true.
You make the best out of it that you can, and I enjoyed it. I'd rather do the personal thing, but if it came down to I couldn't go to malls anymore, I would set up full blown. Like I had it up. I did it here, jam up, built a studio for it. And this studio I'm in right now, this is my wife's office now for these books. I have a backdrop that goes behind here. And,
that was my next question. If you used a static backdrop or if you had like the bookcase behind you now, or if you even try to do any of the blue green screen technology, because I know a lot of guys struggle with that blue green screen stuff.
Yeah, I struggled with the green screen. I did it on Zoom, and it was too is it ghosting on you?
Ghosting, exactly.
I never could get it to work right. I put my backdrop on the green screen, and it still ghosted. So I had a 10-foot back. This room is 10 feet by 8 feet, and I had a 10 by 10 backdrop on the wall, and it was beautiful. It worked out perfect. I had my lights a little further out, and I had my iPad sitting a little further out on a pole. So you got a pretty good picture of it. It was easy, fun and easy.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing that everyone struggled with, I know it was something that we worked on to try to fine tune, and that is getting all the lights around you in just the right place to keep that ghosting from happening. And then still sometimes, for me, I was using a blue screen. I have blue eyes, so every once in a while my eyes would disappear.
That had to be wild.
And that's real ghosting there.
Yeah, I used one of those lights, those circle lights, 18-inch ring, and I had it sitting probably about 8 feet away from me and tilted kind of up, because if it was tilted right down, it'd be too much. Yeah. But I got the lighting perfect, and I could see. I got it within 2 inches of the wall over there and 2 inches of this wall over here, so you got the whole thing. Spangles got a backdrop like that. You remember the one with the rocking horse and the sled and everything hanging on the wall? Anyway, that's the one I've got, and it's just perfect.
Cool. Yeah, Bob became a demon Santa.
What? Ghosted?
But anyway, now you've started your own Santa photography company called My Very Own Santa LLC, and have signed a contract with Stamford Town Center in Stamford, Connecticut.
Exactly.
How did you approach the business side with the mall ownership and the management to secure the set as an independent?
Well, the mall liked me to start with, and they didn't like CHP. They just didn't like them. And so I said, well, if you ever get tired of it, I could do this. And they approached me at the end of that year. That was my first year up there with Cherry Hill. And the next year, he called me up about June to schedule me in. And he already said, oh, you're coming back. So, okay. So, getting ready to send you a contract, everything looking good. And I said, yeah, what about me coming up? You mentioned that Mike could do it. Well, we're trying to sell the mall. And Taubman Brothers owned it, and they want to stay with the dead horse and ride it till the race is over with, I guess, and finish last. So there's a company called Safavia. They make rugs. They're real big up in Stamford. They got a big freestanding store. Anyway, they obviously do something right because they bought them all. And they're big old stores right up here I'm on the 4th floor. They're on the 5th floor. I just take up that whole curve right there. It's a big store. So Safavia bought them all, and Alex Safavia said, Dan, get that guy back if you want him. And I've been back, and they told me that you had a contract for life. So there you go. So that's how that worked.
No, let's just hope they don't have a cousin named Bubba. They can determine how long that life is.
Listen, all they got to do is tell me to go. Trust me, I don't go where I might want it. I don't stay very long. I'd leave in a minute. If they weren't having me, I'd say, listen, I'm sorry I didn't do what you expected. I'll say later, bye. But this is my life. I love doing Santa Claus. I was a perfectionist when it came to my musical career. I was a perfectionist when I did Bible dramas. I mean, it's word for word, and I spent the time. I spent the effort. I spent I was at Santa Claus school with you at Susan Mesco in 2015, and I study. I watch every Santa Claus I can watch. I just listen to them. I haven't been to a lot of schools, but that one. And but I watch every Santa Claus movie. I watch every Santa Claus. I belong to the local state chapter of IBRBS, the Cotton State Santas. I go to every one of their functions. I go to the national functions. I see you at all of them, Spangler. And you can learn hands on with one-on-one is where my best learning comes from.
So Chuck, Rex wants to know: do you use your guitar and singing talent when you do the ball?
Occasionally, I'm on the 4th floor. My set starts on the 3rd floor. It's a big castle, and it goes up to the 5th floor. I'm sitting on the 4th floor, but there's an arena down there that they have live music on weekends, and I can go down there and play a few minutes because usually I'm busy enough where I can't take too very long in the beginning. When towards the last 3 weeks, once it gets to December, there's no time. But I can stand there on my set. I have a Bose PA system. I can sit right there and play right off the balcony if I wanted to. I don't do much of it, though. I'd like to.
Well, I remember back in Denver when we were at Susan Mesco's school together, you would break out in song sometimes.
Yeah, man. I like breaking out in song. I feel like Andrews in The Sound of Music. I just want to break out in song.
All right, so Chuck, we kind of touched on this too, but let's get into it a little bit deeper here. With the majority of all the big malls being owned by Brookfield or Simon,
yeah.
Do you see this as a trend? Speaking of catching on in the future for high-end merchants like you spoke of that bought the Sanford Town Center,
I do. I see
independent and doing the same thing.
I see it coming because a lot of these malls are closing. They say, the days of malls are over with. No, they're not. They're not. Strip shopping centers and stuff like that, they're not going to take over malls. I mean, one thing about Stanford, it's a big mall. It's downtown. And most everybody in Stanford lives where? Downtown. It's got covered parking. You ain't got to get out in the rain. And it's just a grand place to go. The nearest mall is about 7 or 8 exits up, or 7 or 8, 12 miles up. And our set did better than that set. And the people that went to that set first came to our set and say, we like you better. We went to 5 or 6 malls 50 miles away and came back to you. So we like the way you do Santa Claus. And I'm fun. I'm a fun Santa. I don't get mad and upset on the set. I'm Santa Claus. I'm in character. There it is. I ain't getting out of it. But I see malls selling out. I do. I see independent companies that are like Safavia. I don't know how big they are, but they're big enough to buy this 8-story mall downtown Connecticut. It takes up an entire city block. Well, 2 city blocks.
They probably get cheaper rent that way too.
Yeah.
Hey, anyways, Chuck, have you done any other events in your Santa career that you would say you enjoyed doing more than being a mall Santa? And what did you most enjoy about that, and what made them special to you?
Well, I never have done much home visits. I did last year, year before last, when I did the live streaming up there. It's the first year I've had time to do a home visit because I worked till 9 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. And I do a couple of home visits on Christmas Day, which is kind of cool, little Brazilian family up there in Connecticut. But I don't have the time. I mean, who wants to do a party at 9 o'clock? First off, it's 9 when I get off. Then I got to drive there. And I've done several home visits. That last year, 8 or 9, I guess, was not a lot by a lot of standards. But it's a lot of work. I like being set up, getting that routine. I'm there 12 hours a day. I get there at 9 o'clock, an hour before I should be there, and I get set up and running and going. And then I get off at 9 o'clock, and we lock everything up and close up the register stuff. And I'm there about 12 and a half hours a day, and I like it. I do. Don't bother me a bit.
Yeah, I've mentioned on the show many times that I like the structure of the mall work because a lot of guys like being their own agent and booking their own stuff and doing the contracts and traveling from point A, point B, point C. Some guys like that, but I really enjoy the structure that allows me to really concentrate on my character and being the best Santa I can be without having to, worry about all the other stuff. But that kind of brings me to the next question here. Since you have mentioned that you would like to expand to at least one more mall, do you think, or do you see your company expanding to multiple malls in the future?
I know of one mall that I'm probably going to get, and I'm going there next season. It's too late this year for me to start because I just came into this revelation. But I'm going to do one that's on my route going to Stamford, Connecticut. I go right through Tennessee, and there's a mall there that I go right by there, and I'm gonna pick that one up. I'm going up there in January and try to solidify that deal. And if that don't work, I got 5 shots at 5 different malls that are looking.
Fantastic.
And I'd like them all, really. If I got a half a dozen malls, I don't know that I would continue to do Santa Claus. I don't, because that's a lot of work. And my wife, she's almost my age, and she don't want to do them all. And the management aspect of the business, somebody's got to do that. Me and her could do the district manager or whatever regional manager, and take care of that part. With that many malls, I'm not sure I could do it because I've got to go set up each one of these malls because my stuff, my equipment. And I might need a trailer I might buy your other trailer. You still got your other trailer, your first one?
Yep.
Anyway,
So, are you going to be the new CHP? Chuck has pictures.
That might be, that's close enough. Mrs. Claus just said, I hope not. No,
Okay.
I got no aspirations of being a big corporation, but I would like to have 3 or 4 or 5 malls.
All right. Well, anyways, you mentioned that your desire is for the children to have an experience, a visit with Santa that they will remember for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
As an independent Santa and photography company, how will you do things different from the other big photo companies that will set you apart and make the desire come true for those children your company will serve?
I can stop and take more time with children. Sure, you will do 1 minute, get them in a minute, out a minute, go. And I'll take however long it takes. And I like to tell stories. So I'll tell them some stories. I said, let me tell you something that nobody knows but Santa Claus. And I'm going to tell you, but you've got to promise not to tell anybody. And I'll tell them a little story that I made up. And they like that kind of stuff, the little personal stuff. And I give away stuff. I give away as much stuff as we sell. It's my nature to give, and I just love giving stuff to kids.
Well, you do know, Chuck, that Stuff for Santa has all the stuff you need to give away.
I hear you.
Okay, so let's check and see if our viewers have any questions for you or any comments or anything. Come on, keyboard warriors, ask away.
Yeah, Chuck, while they're hitting the keys, I can remember when I first started with Cherry Hill, we had giveaways every year, and I don't know, it's been maybe 5 years ago or so. They quit giving giveaways away, and I have so many people that was really disappointed because the children would come and they still put the big giant Santa sack that we used to put the giveaways in next to my chair, and they would all come over and look in it and then look at me like they were heartbroken because there was nothing in there.
Yeah.
And I would have to explain to them that the mall actually was supplying that stuff and they quit doing it. So
yeah, well, my mall still gives away little coloring books and little 4-pack crayons. And but I give away red noses, the kind you squeeze and stick on your nose. They're all sealed in plastic, so they've never been touched. But I go at the Walgreens sells those, for $1. It's a fundraiser, and on the 5th of June they can't sell them anymore, so they give them away. And if you're bold enough to go to a Walgreens and ask them for them, they may give you to me and Jeff Hooper, Santa Jeff. We got 6,000 one year.
So I have a question here. What type of printers and camera do you use? I think that's probably Santa Scott.
I use a DNP 620A printers. I've got 2 of them hooked up at all times, and I got one for a spare in case one of them stops working. One of them prints 5x7s, one of them prints 4x6s, and if the other one stops printing, this one will print both, and that one will print both. But that way you can get your whole thing going at one time. I use Nikon cameras exclusively because they're good cameras. And you can buy a good digital single lens reflex camera for about $600. I bought mine were $1,200 because I like the look. I want better. So I just got better. And I bought flight cases from Nashville Case, where if it's made in Nashville by Nashville Cases, they make the flight cases for the Stars. Well, I have all my equipment mounted in those cases. They're perfect. They fit perfect. All I do is put the face on it, put the cord in, put the face on it, lock it up, roll it up in my trailer, and have gunboat travel. And I got like my cash register and stuff. I got the best cash register for the business for me. I've never used anybody else's cash register, but I've seen everybody use cash register. But I went with Square Up Register. Square Register is what it's called. It's $1,400, but it's the best you can get. I mean, it's talk about simple to operate. Here's this one thing right here, real quick. Line up this. You see all those ABCD stuff on there?
Uh-huh.
Packages. Now my cash register looks just like that, except 4 across instead of 2. Package A, package B, C, D. If you want to plus add a 5x7, hit that. Add a 4x6, it's that. If you just want to buy a 5x7 by itself, or cards or whatever, I can check this on my phone in my chair in real time while business is being transacted up at the cash register over there. People leave, and if I've got a second, nobody's coming in, I can look back there, and I saw with that last sale, I see all the sales. I can see that to the penny, how much we made, how much the tips were, and it's got a little tip bar on there. I love this thing. It says tip for Santa, 15%, 20%, 25%, no tip, and you got to hit one of those to clear it out and get your receipt. And without fail, 90% of the people hit 25%. We did $3,067 in 35 days in tips.
Wow.
Didn't even ask. That's not counting the cash tips I got.
Rex Ray wants to know if you have any supply chain issues getting your photo supplies, your paper, printer paper.
I ordered my paper and ink in July. I just got my paper and ink. I bought $5,280 worth. I got 20 cases. That's 40 rolls of 5x7 and 20 rolls of 4x6. I ordered them from Imaging Spectrum in Dallas, Texas, called Steve Ben. He's the guy. And
yep.
He told me, he said, you're always good to order now, because if you wait October, November, you ain't getting no paper. Get it early. It says, I hate buying something 6 months in advance, but that's the only way to get it. Buy it ahead of time. You can get anything you want at Imaging Spectrum in Dallas, Texas. Steve Ben. I buy my printers there. He gets the best price in town. Everybody's going up to $1,000. He's still down there under $800.
No, he's the best. Definitely the best.
He's the best. Service is excellent. I got my stuff in 2 days, all the way to Fairhope, Alabama from Dallas. It's a great place to do it, and they're easy to work with. I've got a credit card on file. In April, I was up there doing the Easter set, and one of my printers just stopped working, and I called him up. I said, nobody's got this printer. I've been looking online. Nobody's got one. I doubt you have one either. But as soon as you get one, send me one. He said, I'll put it in the mail this afternoon. Thanks. Just send it to me like that. Got it.
Yeah.
Chuck, is there anything we didn't cover that you would like to share with our viewers tonight? Any final thoughts on anything?
Always wear a good suit. Don't be afraid to spend money on your character. No kidding. Ask Spangle. I buy a suit every year, maybe 2. And I just swap them off. I got a green suit. It's just absolutely fabulous. Spangle will show you a picture of it later. But we only wear it on Sunday because we didn't want to freak people out, because everybody's Santa Claus wears a red suit. Well, Coca-Cola generated that image. But this green suit is absolutely fabulous. And I've got a brand new red suit for this year, along with the other 2 red suits I've got. My green suit.
And where did you get your green suit?
I think I got it from some. What's that guy? Missouri guy. Missouri sent Spangle the Clown. That's where I got it.
Love it.
Stuff for Santa, and I buy it live and impromptu in person because I see him every. When I see you, November? No, when do I see you in Gunnersville? May
in Gunnersville.
See him in May in Gunnersville, Alabama, and I do my big shopping for my suits then. Why? Because I still have a little money left over from Christmas.
Spangle, you want to say?
Wear gloves. Always wear clean gloves. Buy them by the gross. Spangle the Clown. It's your phone playing. You wish you a Merry Christmas.
Spangle, you want to catch that comment?
Spangle left the building.
No, Michael dropped out. Okay, so here, Chuck, we have a comment here that says, my problem at my studio is using photographers. Do you use professional photographers to run your equipment?
My wife is my professional photographer.
There you go.
We set up everything together when we first get there. We get there 2 days early. We unload the trailer and get the trailer parked and get everything, all the stuff in the dressing room, and we keep the printers and the flight cases, the things we're using out there. And then we come back the day before and we set everything up, take a few pictures. Everything's working perfect. We set the camera up every day. She does, and I do. And it's set up. All you got to do is push the taskbar on that, or push a little button. I got a little Nikon button. You can push it and it'll take the picture. You ain't got to touch the camera ever. It's set in position and just push the button. Wireless.
Now, I assume you don't do any photography work outside of the mall, because one of the questions here is, do you use a darkroom? That would only be if you was processing prints.
No,
And-
well, I process prints because I print live on the spot.
Right. That's what
But
I'm saying.
I use Darkroom Core, and it's a great program. We can set it up. It works well with our computers and our printers, and it's got so many different configurations because you can print all 5x7s, you can print one 5x7 and two 4x6s, you can print four 4x6s and passport size or miniature ones for ornaments. It'll do any configuration that you want on either one of your printers. It's Darkroom Core. And if you buy the dongle version. Don't get the program that you program it in your computer, because if you have something happen to your computer and you got to get another computer out there, you got to load that program into that one. The dongle, you unplug it, plug it in that one, and keep rolling.
Yeah, that was a clarification on that. They was asking about darkroom software.
Yeah, Darkroom Core. That's what I use. It's $495, I think. And it's worth every dollar. Yeah, I got some friends that use Core. They use the Pro. But the Pro is $1,500, and I can't see that it does any more than the Core does.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Well, all right, Chuck. Everyone stay with us, because coming up next, we will be doing a tribute to our friend, Santa Thomas Carmody.
Fine for me. And I claim that it took 60 years or 60 some years to figure out why you were created. It would be nice if that was revealed to you earlier. But I found out that I was created to be Santa Claus. I was created so that God could use me to serve other people and serve them by bringing his love and his joy to those people. So that was my beginnings until I retired. But I've been Santa a long, long time. God gave me a heart for that.
Wow.
Guys, I gotta kind of compose myself here, but some of those photos was sent to us from Jessica Rosa, J. Rosa Photography, back at the ISA in Atlanta a couple of months back. Tom did a photo shoot with Jessica, and this first time we've seen those pictures. She just got those put together. She worked late last night and today to get us a handful of pictures to show that are mixed in that montage. There's a couple of pictures of Tom with his mentor and one of his best friends, and the person that he could not wait to go to heaven and see, and that was J. Paul Raines in Arizona. It's a picture of him and his wife Brenda in there. They have been together 50 years. A couple of pictures of me. Fantastic pictures. He's dearly missed. We loved him so much.
There's even a picture of me in there with my designer beard with him.
I like
Yes.
your designer hair.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
All right, let's reveal tonight's trivia answers. Oh, and I got to say, too, I'm sorry. Thank you to Brenda, his wife, and the family for allowing us to do this tribute and to be able to use his photos. It means a lot to us. Slide Driver Apparel named the Hallmark movie, which tells the story of a young boy helping Santa in the busiest month of the year. The answer to that is North Pole. North Pole. Stuff for Santa and SchoolofSantas.com. Which Christmas movie portrayed the story of an Army sergeant serving in Afghanistan getting an unexpected gift? The name of that is The Christmas Card.
Well, okay, Bob, as we wrap up this week's show and look forward to next Tuesday night, do you have any final thoughts?
Yes, sir. We invite you all to join us next week as our guest will be Santa Bill Dendy, who is the proprietor of the company Santa's Tailor LLC. That is a high-end custom red Santa, custom red suit tailor and seamster for our community. Many of you have seen Bill at the larger events such as ISC 2018 in Denver and 2022 in Atlanta, and also at the Lone Star Roundups. Fantastic guest. He's got some great stories also. Just want to say thank you to Chuck. Chuck, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your stories and expertise. And good luck, my friend, on your Santa photography company, my very own Santa LLC. Chuck has extended an invite to anyone who wants to reach out and speak about trying to move into a mall and following his model of how he done things.
Yes.
And good luck on branching out in the future too, Chuck.
Thank you so kindly. Thank you.
Spangle, do you have any final comments?
Well, my only comment was I am so proud and so that I got to call Tom my friend.
He was an extraordinary human being. He was a role model to many of us. There's many of us that have heard him. My last conversation with him was a couple of days before he passed, and he was so excited to be able to go to heaven and see J. Paul and all those who had passed before him. And he was good with it. He was ready. And my last words to him was I love him and I'd see him in the future. All right. To everyone, say good night, Spangle.
Good night, Spangle.
Good night, Spangle.
Oh, we didn't do the trivia winners, did we? Okay. I'm sorry, folks. Trivia winners tonight. Mark Walker for the Slay Driver Apparel.
And Rex Ray for Spangle.
Rex Ray for Spangles. Fantastic, guys.
Wait. I don't know if we're allowed to give Rex Ray sharp objects. We might have to check with I don't know, parole officer or something.
Uh-oh, looks like Spangle froze. There he is. I was going to say he might want to donate to somebody. Who knows? You better check with Rex on that.
We love you, Rex.
All right, big thank you to Derek Dugan and Slay Driver Apparel, also stuff for Santa.com and SchoolofSantas.com. Our recorded videos can be seen on our Facebook group as well as our YouTube channel at the Tuesday Night Live Show. Remember, folks, we couldn't do this without you. We do this because of you. Thank you for watching. Remember to join us for our next Tuesday Night Live each week, 7 p.m. Central. Same clause time, same clause channel. Count your blessings, not your sorrows. Have a blessed week. Until next time, on behalf of Santa Chuck, Spangle, Angela, and myself, I'm Santa Bob McMaster saying good night.
Good night.
Oh.